Hello, so this is me on the second day of this project, but I just wanted to come in and re-explain what I'm doing because I did not have a lot of energy yesterday and I have a lot more energy now and I just feel a lot brighter, more able to explain things in an exciting way because I am excited about this and I just was not feeling it. As you may know, I am getting married in a little over a month now, which is crazy. But next weekend, a week from today, is my bridal shower, and of course I have to make a new dress for it because I have to. It's like I only get to be a bride once, I might as well make another dress. The theme of the party is Anne of Green Gables, so the main point of my dress that I want to make sure that I have is puff sleeves because anything Anne Shirley really wanted, it was those puff sleeves. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be using. It was given to me by a lady from my church and I'm pretty sure it was originally meant for curtains. This has this like really lovely florally embroidery on it and it's going to be really pretty. Hello, Fig. Like I said, I really was not feeling it the first day of working on this project. I was really excited to have this dress and to make this dress. I was not really excited to sew, so I did not really explain exactly what I was doing. I just kind of went and was like, yeah, future Mcara will figure out how to make this into a video. Anyway, the design of this dress is going to be pretty simple and straightforward. I'm starting out with a bodice block that starts at the bust and the waist, and then I'm going to have super puffy sleeves, and then a pretty simple, slightly gathered circle skirt. For the bodice, I'm going to be using this new vintage pattern that I got, and I'm going to be using the bodice from View C here. And I mostly wanted to use this just because it was different, and I really like the neckline on this one as well. I originally just planned on having 2 layers of the bodice and was going to use the plain white curtain as a lining, but that ended up being too sheer by itself since these were both pretty see-through fabrics. So what I ended up doing was just using the white curtain fabric as an interlining and then cutting out a separate layer from a plain white bed sheet as a separate lining. I also cut out my circle skirts with the same 3 layers of fabric as well, so that the entire dress looked like it was just made out of the exact same fabric. Hello, so today is a new day, and I'm ready to properly start going on this dress. Yesterday I was just kind of in like a blah mood because we had like a couple days that were really warm outside and really lovely and like seemed like it was actually going to start being spring. And then it snowed again, and it was just so gray and like outside, and I just didn't have a lot of energy, and so now I feel more alive. I have a good outfit. I also curled my hair a little bit, so I just feel a lot more alive and ready to actually tackle this project properly. I just did not have a lot of energy yesterday. So anyway, I'm gonna start sewing up the bodice and we'll see how that fits. So I do have to baste all these pieces together because when I'm doing an inner lining and then an actual lining, so before I can sew any of these together I have to baste them together so they don't wiggle around. Okay, so it turned out exactly like I thought it would be, and the bodice is too big, overlaps a ton, but the front fits really nice. Like the darts, that looks really good. I might start using this as like my base bodice pattern. This is nice. I really like this. As you can see, like the side seam is like almost to the back, so I just need to take it in. I think on both sides by like almost maybe ½ inch to start. And I do think I'm going to lower the neckline a little bit just because I don't need it to be this high. This almost feels a little bit choky. I also kind of like how it's a little bit off the shoulder. I might keep that because otherwise I have to trim it down quite a bit, but I kind of like it. Anyway, so I'm going to take this in quite a bit really quick and trim the neckline and see how it looks from there. Okay, so this is fitting Much better now. I had to take it in on the sides quite a bit, like probably maybe almost an inch on each side. I don't know, it was quite a lot. And I also trimmed down the back too, so that should hopefully just fit with the buttons. I don't know, it's so hard to tell because it's, you know, on my back, but hopefully that looks good. So now I gotta do all that again to the lining, and I'm not gonna film that because it's boring. So cut to me having the lining. Lining's done. So next I'm just gonna attach these together and then go from there. This whole clip is just me explaining that I accidentally did not leave myself enough room to do buttons in the back, so I ended up deciding to just do a zipper. And I originally wasn't going to do a zipper because I didn't think I had a zipper, and then I actually found a zipper, so I decided to do a zipper because I decided I didn't really care if I had buttons on the back or not. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, next I started working on the sleeves, and I just took a pretty basic sleeve pattern and extended the sides out by quite a bit so that they would be a lot puffier, because these needed to be really puffy sleeves. And I also ended up deciding to use 2 layers of fabric for each sleeve so that they'd be a little bit less see-through and have a little bit more body to the puff. I also serged around each edge of the sleeve just to make that easier for constructing these so that I wouldn't have to worry about the edges fraying all over. And then I just started sewing them together. It was a pretty simple sleeve construction. After I had gotten them all serged, I hemmed them, and then I added lace by top stitching it onto the hem. I added a strip of elastic to the bottom of the sleeve to give it that actual like puff at the bottom, and I did this by just measuring out how high I wanted the elastic above the hem and then pinning that into place. And then I found the center of the elastic and then found roughly the center of the other side of the sleeve and pinned that into place. And then I just kind of carefully measured and pinned the elastic roughly about 3 inches above the hem in different spots throughout the elastic. And then I just carefully sewed that on, and I wasn't too particularly careful about making sure this was exactly even because in the end you're not really gonna notice. I did also end up having to gather the sleeve a little bit more just because there was so much fabric that the elastic just wouldn't stretch enough to contain it all, so I just shoved it up a little bit underneath my presser foot while I was sewing. And then I just gathered the top of my sleeve to the bodice and sewed that together. Hello, so it is another new day, and I'm thinking maybe I might be able to get the skirt done. At least I'm gonna start working on it. I only have like a couple hours before Paul's gonna get here and we're going to a friend's birthday dinner thing. But I really want to get the skirt done because I really want to finish this dress because I'm really happy with the way that it's going, and I feel like with the last couple of things I've made, I've just been getting better at making them better. And I feel like I've done a really good job with this. Now obviously I did use my serger, but it looks really nice on the inside and I'm really happy with that. So yeah, this was another part of the project where I didn't really know what I was doing until I just started doing it. I was really confused for some reason about how this all was gonna work, but ended up being really simple. So anyway, I just attached all of the individual circle skirt layers pieces to each other, and then I attached the 3 layers of sewn together circle skirts to each other, so then they ended up looking something like this, where they're all attached but they're not fully in a circle yet because then I would still have a gap for the zipper. And then I serged the top edge of the skirt and then also the edges of the skirt where the zipper is going to be. And then I sewed 2 parallel lines of gathering stitches at the top of the skirt and then gathered that to my bodice and sewed that together. after I attached the skirt, the final step was just attaching the zipper, which I for some reason did not film, and I have literally no memory as to why. And I also did not film any hemming of the skirts. It was kind of a lot because they were pretty big circle skirts, but the two inner layers I hemmed normally with a roll hem, and then the outer layer I was able to just melt the edges with a lighter, so that's what I ended up doing. Then after all that, the dress was done, and I was ready for my very special bridal shower.
Very nice. That's okay. Go get your tea. Hey, take your plate and your cup.
Do you want me to take something with you and hold it for you?
Come on, girlie. Yeah.
So it's been almost 2 months since my bridal shower, which is kind of crazy to think about that it's been this long. It was just such a lovely, lovely day, and it was so nice to like go back and reminisce about it because it took me quite some time to get to actually editing this video. It was just such a lovely party. So many different people helped us make this party into a reality. So many people let us borrow their decorations. So many people helped with food and just setting up and making it into such a lovely day. And I got so many lovely gifts too. I was blown away by how many people came and how many people brought gifts too. It was just such a lovely day, and I was so glad to get to hang out with all of my lovely lady friends, and I'm very grateful to everyone who helped out with all of it. Anyway, a little bit of an update. I am, after this video, going to start working on my wedding dress videos, and I know those are going to be a lot. Those should be out relatively soon. I'm not going to put any specifications on dates because I know they're going to take me quite a while to edit, because there's going to be 2 parts to this video, and I put a lot of work into my wedding dress, which means a lot of footage to go through. So anyway, thank you all for watching and for sticking around on my accidental but sort of knew was going to happen wedding hiatus. So I'll be back to posting somewhat regularly, hopefully very soon, and I think that's all I have to say. So goodbye!